Hi guys, I'm a bit puffed. I've just been doing walking. We've gone away for a bit of camping in the Australian bush this weekend, so I thought I would sit down and write about this video that I want to do and come and film it. And I have found, I'm just going to turn you around, this beautiful, oh my god, it's so magical, this beautiful tree. So if I don't fall over, as you can see the grass, oh my god, it's so long. And there's actually two of these trees. There's one here and you can sit inside that one, but there's this one. I'm actually going to literally get inside this tree to film this video. Plus it's a little bit more private because there's other people that are camping and I think they think that, you know, I'm a little strange. Yeah, so sorry, bear with me. So I did my original video the other day about spell crafting, and they were more or less just my own musings and opinions on the idealisms, morals and ethics, rah rah rah. But I wanted to make a video about spell casting itself and how to cast a spell. Now I have seen other videos, and I'm not going to get into that in this video because I think I more or less covered what I thought about previous videos in another video. So I've actually sat down, as I've had some time today while I've been camping, and written this video, all of this down in my book here. As you can see, my thoughts about spell casting. And this, I will start by saying that this video is from a perspective of Wicca. I'm not talking from the perspective of more traditionalist witches who don't use the correspondences and, you know, candle colours and herbal correspondences, all of that sort of thing. This video is for newcomers who are looking to establish spellcasting and how to do it. So first, and I'd actually put up the top because I'd forgotten, was your altar. This does not need to be elaborate as long as you have something that represents the four elements: earth, air, water, fire, and probably two pillar candles, white pillar candles, or a black and a white pillar candle, or a green or a white pillar candle to represent the god and the goddess. You're doing just fine. You don't need to have the most elaborate setup if you are a beginner. Now, the most important part of casting a spell is your, sorry, I'm going to keep looking down because I've only just finished writing this, is your desire. Obviously, your need and your desire is the most powerful part of the spell. We don't just cast spells just for frivolous reasons. And as far as I'm concerned, it's a very powerful force for transformation spellcraft. And asking for frivolous things will more or less, in my opinion, determine that the spell a lot of the time will not work. You know, as far as I'm concerned, the powers above are not going to bless us with the fruition of our spell if they feel that it's not something that we actually need, it's just something that we want for our own selfish reasons. So only ask for things that you truly believe that you need or that are sanctioned. I've got to keep moving the camera. My arm is getting sore already, and this is probably going to take a little bit longer than I thought. Groundwork. So the casting of a spell. Casting a spell is very good, but simply casting a spell isn't going to solve all your problems if you have them. You know, and there's a variety of reasons that we cast spells. It's not always because there is a particular need. For example, money. Sometimes it's for self-esteem. Sometimes it's to you know, to end a rift between friends, you know, that sort of thing. But have you acted, you know, in the physical realm to try and help the spell to manifest? What have you done to try and make sure that the spell is actually going to come into fruition? We can't always just expect to cast a spell and that it's just going to work for us and just rely on the spell itself to work. There are certain elements that you have to look within yourself and have to try and manifest those things physically yourself in order to help the spell to work. And the repercussions. Will your spell hurt, or will it affect the energy of anybody else in the situation in a positive or negative way? If it's going to affect people negatively, perhaps you should look at rewording or reworking this spell so it affects everyone in a more positive manner. My next item on the list was write down your need or desire. And write it down as if you're telling somebody about your need or desire that has no idea of what you want. In my personal opinion, the more articulate you can be with writing down your needs and desires when it comes to spell work, the more likely they are to come to fruition and the more powerful the spell will be. Timing. When is the best time to do a spell? Well, as far as I'm concerned, you go by the phases of the moon. That's just my personal opinion. Always go by the phases of the moon. Obviously, they are the planetary hours, the time of day, particular days, all those correspondences, but you can actually look at those things on the internet. There are many sources that will help you with that, and there are a lot of valid websites on the internet that will also go into that. But for the most part, the most important part of your spellcraft is look at the moon phase. Is it a waxing moon? Is it a waning moon? Is it a full moon? Is it a new moon? Is it a dark moon? What exactly are you looking to manifest? So always be mindful of the phase of the moon. And there are many widgets that you can get on the internet that will tell you the phase of the moon all the time. You can get them on your phone, you can have them on your computer. You don't always have to rely on other sources to find it. It's very easy to do yourself. Method and materials. What will you use to help focus your energies? Are you going to use herbs? Are you going to use candles? Are you going to use sachets, crystals? Of course, always making sure that your choices will correspond with what it is that you want to manifest in your spell. So for example, if you're doing a spell for money, green, gold, brown, a herb obviously would be Irish moss, or a stone such as green aventurine or jade. You know, make sure that the things that you have correspond with your desires. Don't just go throwing in things that, you know, well, I think I'll just use a black candle because I don't have a green one. I think later on, when you really understand your path and you've been practicing for more than a few years and you have the power within you to manifest the energy you want, and you can do it without even having to use tools, by all means. And you can, I probably would say it is okay to do that, but when you're a beginner looking to cast a spell, you need to be able to focus your energy as much as you possibly can. And I really do believe that having the right tools and the right implements that correspond with your intent are very important. Okay, so then I've got to go over the page because I really wrote this in a really silly fashion. Creating symbolic action. Hang on a minute. Symbolic action. I might actually have done something wrong here. I'm just going to turn you around. Oh, look at the nice spider web. Actually, that really is pretty. Wow. Didn't notice that when I first came in. God, I love the Australian bush. I'm so lucky to live here. Anyway, back on topic. Creating symbolic actions. When you're creating a symbolic action, this is more than just the colour correspondences. It can be taking a purifying bath or purifying yourself in some way to get yourself ready for the spell. It can also be the use of anointing oils. So to perhaps create an oil to anoint the candle to really help focus your energy while you're getting ready for the spell. So you know, you can make an anointing oil out of the Irish moss. And also use the Irish moss, but you can also anoint the candles and really concentrate and focus your intent in every part that you possibly can on the spell you're about to manifest. Okay, and then we come to writing the spell. In my opinion, when it comes to writing a spell, write from the heart. Nobody else is going to see the spell but you. Don't worry about using complex words. Don't worry about conforming to what people think that you should write. Don't worry about being politically correct. Write what really feels true to you. It is your power and your intent that will manifest the spell. The power comes from within you, and its words are extremely powerful. Use them to your advantage. Yeah, so gathering your materials. Now I added this one in just because of previous things that I've said. There are many household herbs and spices that you can buy for, you know, $1 in the supermarket that have so many correspondences that relate to a lot of other herbs that you can buy. that are more rare herbs. So you don't, if a particular spell that you want calls for something, like mugwort or something that you can't usually find at the store, don't worry about it. Just go to the cupboard and find something that corresponds with your desire. It doesn't have to be that exact herb. If you are perhaps reading from a book and you're customizing a little bit, this particular video I'm talking about writing everything step by step and doing it yourself. But don't worry that you don't have everything exactly as you may have seen on the internet. Some herbs I know have 20 different correspondences. They're good all-rounders that can be used for everything, and a lot of them are ones that can be found in the garden. Rosemary, basil, they have beautiful properties both medicinally, for everything. So don't worry too much about that. Do the very best you can with what you have at hand. Don't worry about going out and buying the most expensive of everything. It really isn't necessary. Purifying the area and casting your circle. When it comes to circle casting, I notice that a lot of people leave this out in their videos. Depending on what hemisphere you're in, you're going to go clockwise, anti-clockwise. Obviously Widdershins, Jessel, not actually sure how to pronounce that because it's not something I talk about with everybody myself. Now most people will call upon the elements: earth, air, fire, water, ether / spirit. Everybody's a little bit different in that respect. It's really up to you. Call upon the watchtowers if you wish. Again, that's something that not everybody does, but it is up to you. Now from there, once you've done that, I like to sit and center myself for a little bit when I'm doing a spell of this kind and begin to really raise my energy, focus on what I want, prepare my items ritually in front of me, start to really get all my items together and just start to raise that energy. Now you can do this any way you like. You can start by a little bit of, you could do a bit of drumming, a little bit of singing. You can do whatever you want to raise the energy for your spell. Now state your purpose. When you feel you have raised enough energy for the spell, say the spell. Light your candle, say the spell, keep that energy raised, keep it focused, and when you feel you have raised the energy as far as you can possibly get it, release that energy is the most powerful way that you know how. Again, nobody's going to see it, only you, so don't ever worry that, oh God, I'm not doing this correctly, because when it comes to you raising the energy for your intent and your desire, there is no wrong way. You just do what feels right for you right in that very moment, and that is the most powerful way to manifest your spell. Now obviously after you have released your energy, you've stated your purpose, raised your energy, obviously you seal your spell. So most people will do this by using the words "so mote it be," "as above so below," etc, etc. That's completely up to you again. But more or less what you're doing is just you're reinforcing your will and intent for the spell to manifest, and that's really what this is all about. Now a lot of people don't do this at the end of spell work. For a spontaneous spell I don't always do it myself, but if it is something along these lines that I really have, I've gathered everything and I've gone to the effort to create the spell and choose everything, and do all the correspondences, the planetary hours, days, everything. I do like to ground myself after the spell. I find that you've raised so much energy, you've released it, and then sometimes your energy is a little bit all over the place. So it's really good to sit down and just rebalance yourself. Feel like you've come back down to the physical a little bit, come back down to earth, and just sit and dwell and reflect on what you've just done, how it's made you feel. And after you have closed your circle, it's usually a good idea, if you're a beginner, to write down exactly what you feel the spell gave to you. How did you feel about it? What did it give to you? Are there parts that you feel that you could improve on? Are there parts that you feel that you should have left out? Etc, etc. But anyway, closing your circle. Once you've achieved your goal, raised your energy, done everything that you've needed to do, you will close your circle. So obviously you are going to bid farewell and say thank you to the elements and the watchtowers. If you have called the watchtowers, my book's about to fly away. And you will close your circle, bring yourself and the energies around you back into the physical world, and then you you have cast your spell. Congratulations. Now for this particular video, I didn't focus on any particular form of spell casting because I don't really feel that it's fair for me to read straight out of a book a spell that I think that you should cast, because I don't like, where I can, not to read from books. I can't say that I've never done it before as a beginner, but I really feel in this day and age when Wicca is becoming so popular that when we're teaching people to do things, it's really important. Let's teach them the right way. So I think that, you know, with the information that I've just given you, by all means you've got the first steps to creating a very, very powerful spell all by yourself. When it comes to planetary hours, colour correspondences, herbal correspondences, days of the week, anything like that, you can certainly look all of those things up on the internet. There are many, many Wicca books that have all of those correspondences in them. There is even a very small spell book, I think it may be by Jarena Dunwich, Power Spellcraft, something to do with spellcraft, I can't remember the name, but it goes through all of the planetary hours, days of the week, correspondences, the evil eye, the right time to cast spells, the wrong time. It does go through everything with you, and it is from a Wiccan perspective. She is a high priestess. So I feel, on that note, there is enough information for you to make a really good start on spellcasting. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. I will put all of my links below. And if you like the video, please subscribe. And when it comes to the comments, please keep the comments constructive like I ask in a lot of my other videos. I really don't have time for people who choose to be disagreeable just because they want to argue. It's always my line in life to debate, don't discriminate. There's no need to hate. Yeah, but anyway, I hope that I've given you enough information. If there's anything else you need, please feel free to ask. Many blessings to you all. Bye bye.